Nothing? Making blowing jokes, doing it with the door open.
It's low-hanging fruit, man. Low-hanging fruit.
Not a chuckle. Well, I run the orchard of low-hanging fruit, sir. It's how we make our money here.
I can see that in your well-cut Dockers.
Thank you. Amazon Basics. Well, hey guys, what's going on here? River Sullivan coming at you right here, right now. Pre-recorded yet again for your live listening pleasure for another episode of Season 5 of This Evening Tonight. And with me here, yet again with his sultry smoking eyes, smooth demeanor, grizzled face, and just the looks that would kill a lesser man just for looking at him. And things. I'm still working on it. Dave.
I was looking around for somebody else. Like, did somebody else show up? That doesn't sound like me.
And also here being the betrothed of that mountain of a man. That chiseled physique. Mrs. Dave.
Hi.
Hi, Mrs. Dave. How are you?
Okay, how are you?
Oh, not bad. She was also the voice that was heard on the last show where she chimed in right there in the beginning. And actually, her name is Tara.
I'm the interrupter, apparently.
You said the name, so.
I chastised her.
So, these fucking birds. Chill the fuck out!
So we're recording in a pet store.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the aviary, if you will, that we're recording in.
Watch out for poop.
So, before we get started, let's talk about this week's coffee. And this week's coffee is nothing. Because I forgot to tell you in the opening episode of Season 5, we are actually recording these episodes in the evening, really making the name of the show all the more true. So, at around 6 p.m. in the evening, I'm not really a coffee kind of guy. I mean, I could go for it because I am a little tired right now, and we can get into that here later. But right now, as for the remaining future of Season 5, we're going to be just executing our beverages of choice in more of a adult beverage, if you will.
More of a little more fizzy fashion.
Not seltzers either, my God. No claws in here.
Yet.
What are you drinking?
It's Founders.
What is Founders?
It's a seltzer, but it's good. It's a grapefruit, masagave. They're good.
Just made a liar out of me.
Well, there's one more, and then I'm on to beer.
No, that's fine. I mean,
you won't be a liar for long.
And you are a lady, so I'm not gonna,
Ladies are allowed to drink beer.
Exactly. I'm saying you're a lady.
barely
You're
know her.
I mean, as for me and Dave over here, we're drinking the man stuff.
That's right.
You got the silver bullets over there, and I'm drinking the Michelangelo Ultras. Fantastic stuff. Because I'm not name dropping anything right here because they're not going to sponsor me. So anyway, so we wanted to talk a little bit about this week, some of the stuff that we did on the hiatus leading up to the show, and clear up until some things that we did today. And that was just coming down from that beautiful high, chasing that dragon that we got to catch for about a week. And that dragon's name is Vacation. So Dave and Mrs.
That's
Dave,
me. Yeah.
what did you guys do? Where did you do? Where did you go for your vacation? What did you do?
We went to Cape Hatteras in North Carolina in the Outer Banks. My cousin rented a great big house down there on the Sound side, and we stayed down there for a week. Had a great time. Got a little shitty a couple nights, and generally had a good time. Tara didn't have nearly the wonderful time that I did. She fell ill on the way down.
It did.
She had
You as well, because the future Mrs. Sullivan actually on the trip down, she started getting all her throat was messed up. She sounded like a bingo lady. Like she was, oh my God, I don't know what's happening to me.
That was me the entire 9-hour drive.
She had that, I want to say, for like the first 2 or 3 days of the vacation for me and her. And it just, yeah, she got over it though, because like I kept feeding her orange juice and vitamin B, and then we went and got some therapy, and I'll tell you about that later too. But yeah, go ahead. Like, so how was the house?
Oh, the house was
yeah,
amazing.
It was beautiful.
Did you go through like a realty for it, or?
I didn't have to do anything except for cook.
Nice.
So,
Had a pool and an elevator.
yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Thing, you know, that's weird because pools at beach homes and vacation beach homes are now like one of the most prevalent things. Like, it's a huge rental point because back in, prior to this, I want to say 90's to even up to the early 2000s, not a lot of beach houses had pools because they went, why? You're by the water. You want to go to the beach. Then they realized that the ocean is kind of grody nowadays. And I don't trust water that I can't see the bottom of. I believe we touched a little bit on that before.
Yeah, had a little bit of a thing about swimming in that kind of water.
Yeah, it's like, piece of seaweed touched my foot, and I walked on water last time.
Yeah, we thought it was silly at first because the house we rented last year didn't have one, but we spent a lot of time in that pool.
Yeah, because you go, I don't have to walk to the beach. Like, for me, that's been my mentality on it. Says I can smell it, I can see it. Look, Bird, if you want to be that loud, I will give you a microphone. Now he's taunting me, or she. I'm sorry, you're taking care of your children. You're a single mother. I haven't seen Dad. Like, I get it. He went out for that pack of wooden stick smokes, and he just hasn't showed back up. I'm sorry. Pools. So I can smell the ocean. I can see the ocean. And I'm like, I'm not going anywhere near farther than that. Like, we went down there to take some photos, and that was about it. Other than that, I lived at the pool. Like, the last 2 years, it was great. But, pools. Worthwhile investment. If you ever, for any listening audience that does any kind of vacation homes, definitely check out, get you something with a pool.
We stayed on the sound side, which last year, was really nice because you could still go out there and swim, and you don't have the waves and all the mess, but there were jellyfish everywhere this year on that side. We would not get in that water.
Not messing.
Did you get a lot
with
of them beached?
No, they were just.
They were swimming and alive.
They were just floating around, like right off of the edge of the sound. Like, you could walk, like if you had a stick, you'd be poking them. And I didn't even want to kayak out there in the off chance that I would capsize or something and end up surrounded by jellyfish. I mean, it's so shallow. You could be 400 or 500 yards out, capsize, and just stand up and oh damn it, and flip your kayak back over. But not when you're surrounded by jellyfish. I was when you're that far out, nobody's there to pee on you.
Yeah, I mean, depending on, like, we don't have like the Portuguese man o' war, do we? That's just restricted to Portugal? Because I know that those styles of jellyfish, the man o' war, has the tendrils or tentacles that are on them can extend hundreds of feet. Like, this thing's the size of a hubcap, but its little stingy, angry bits can go the length of a football field.
So many stingy, angry bits.
Like, you'd be all the way at the end zone of the football field, and he's over there just like, hey, I was just thinking about you. Can you feel me? I can feel you. But here's a funny story for you, talking about the jellyfish. Old Mama Sullivan, when she was a young lady, I believe she said she was like 15 or 16, they had a beach house that they would go every summer.
Mm-hmm.
And she and her brother and her friends all got the bright idea, and they said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to have a contest. Who can get stung the most?
Oh, geez.
By the jellyfish. No. And they go running into the water, she's telling me, and they just like, said, I think the least amount of time stung was like 14, and I think the winner was stung like 48 or 50 something. Like, they come out of the water just bloated and swollen and just poisoned. I mean, it was like the 60s. 60s, yeah.
What was the prize?
I don't know what the prize was. Yeah, bragging rights. Like, I survived.
I'm the most stupid.
You guys suck. I got sick. I can't breathe too good. But that's my mom. I love her. She's the one that gave birth to me.
I apologize for insinuating that
your mother likes getting peed on.
I think I don't know if they peed on each other. No, God, I don't want to quit. No, get out of my head visual. Nope, it's gone. All right, we're good.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, my head did it, and it just All the jellyfish and things that swim around in this head of mine. It just random thoughts come firing through.
Well, she's had a bunch of children, so I mean, she can't
Had 2.
She can't mind it like that bad, right? Have kids, they're gonna piss on you.
Especially boys.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I don't know how that comes into it, but
Yeah, boys, I mean, we pee on everything.
yeah, I mean, only like when there's like strange boys around and you're like, no, this is mine.
I mean, how do you mark your property?
You've seen it. You've been to my website.
I mean, you didn't. I was gonna say, you didn't pee on your truck when you first got it? I mean, the guys at the dealership,
course I
they were, they were like really yelling and cheering, I think, and when I just whipped out and peed on this nice Frontier, and just, I was like, hey, it's mine now, and they were like, and they said something along the lines of something about a public establishment, and I said, I know, you got to share it with the world.
Something about you still have to sign.
I said, you got to do it in the public to let people know that this is my truck.
Yeah, how else are they going to know?
Yeah. I mean, you can't, if I did it at home, nobody would know.
Exactly.
Can't they get you for indecent exposure on that now?
That's it's just frowned upon.
Is that the
Peeing
technical
on your
term?
vehicle to
Not River.
mark its ownership is a tradition as old as time, and I don't believe it's illegal. Like I said, it's like highly frowned upon, like masturbating on a bus. Just
Yeah, it's more of a faux pas.
yeah, common rules of chivalry in the public.
If it was good enough for my daddy and my daddy's daddy, then it's good enough for me.
So you got any good eats? Any place you guys went that stood out to you though?
No,
Nothing.
no, I'm joking. Yeah, we went to a place called the Froggy Dog, and had some lunch. Had some really cool beer from a local brewery down there that I cannot think of the name of.
Lost Colony.
Lost Colony, that's right. They had some a really nice Russian Imperial Stout that I enjoyed, and the lunch we had, Tara was actually quite surprised. We ordered some basically chunks of tuna steak, and they wanted to know how she wanted it cooked, and it was kind of surprising to find out that it was sushi grade tuna, and that they could do like a seared rare that you might find at like a much more, I'm not gonna say the place was shabby, but it didn't really seem like they were gonna have sushi grade tuna.
So was it like was it tourist spot, or was it definitely like the places like the locals would go?
It's both. It was both. It had like I think the time that we went in was more of like a local crowd, but
Yeah, it's pirate themed, so it's
Yeah.
obviously, supposed to be for tourists and stuff too.
but it definitely got some tourists through there. You could just tell by we chose it by the reviews, and it's, I guess, nearness to where we were staying.
Yeah, and at Cape Hatteras, I mean, that whole area, like, it's not, that little section we were in isn't like that touristy of a spot. There's really not a lot of chain kind of things, and and you have real short hours because it's just people running their own business, and they don't want to be there, 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
So
You don't
trying
have
to
like
find when places are open was kind of difficult,
you don't have
especially
a
for
super
lunch.
wings on every corner, selling T-shirts and discount novelty items and souvenirs.
That's why I was glad that we vacationed in the place that we vacationed at, and it was very non-commercialized.
Right. Yeah, that's the best.
Because we were up in Virginia Beach, but we stayed away from actual Virginia Beach. We went down to Sandbridge, and it's the complete non-commercial. The only thing they had like one ice cream shop. They had and it was like a little 3-tiered or 3 shops, and then a second floor had 3 more shops. So there was ice cream, there was a gift shop, and then there was like a surf shop, and then you go upstairs, and then there was another ice cream shop. Then they had a steam shop that had just you get 4 pounds of steamed crab for $40, and I was like,
Wow, that's a good price.
oh, dude, it was stupid. Wow. Like you get all the clusters of crab, and they had the steamed shrimp. That I'm a shrimp guy. Like I love shrimp, fried and steamed. Like I'm Bubba
Oh yeah.
All right. Like,
You're a sea bug guy, huh?
oh yeah. And the old lady, she loves crab meat. Like she I don't know how many clusters of crab. I mean, there was like a family line, like a whole generation of crab lost when we went to the beach because she went ham on it. Yeah, and then the only other shop there they had was like a little jewelry shop that I always thought was neat because they always had it was probably a beach thing. It had nautical coordinates on everything, like on rings and necklaces and stuff like that. But
I don't think I saw anything like that in Cape Hatteras. That's actually a really cool idea. I like that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much right now as it stands is like my anniversary of proposing to her. Did I tell you what I got her? Is like a, hey, this is the day I proposed to you gift?
No.
Oh, all right. Sappy music. So she loves the fact that I'm kind of a nerd about things. And I started looking, I said, I want to do something nice, something special. And there's a lot of places you can go and you can get a star named after somebody. And you pay them money and then they register the star. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. So I kept digging. And I knew I wanted something having to do with the stars. So I found a company that was able to pull up constellations. And they pulled up the constellations and I had them do it on the exact date, the exact location, and the exact time that I proposed to her. And I was able to pull it through the geotags off the photos that were taken. They have the timestamps and everything, and had it right down to, location-based times and everything. Sent them that, paid them, and they put it on looked like a painted heart, framed it, everything, and it just said Sandbridge Beach. And I think I put something like, that was the moment I knew I'd spend the rest of my universe or my world with you. And she looked at it, she's like, that's, she started to choke up a little bit, but then I started saying, she was like, what are these dots? I said, well, that's the exact star constellations that were in the sky. Even though it was daytime, those are the stars that were displayed at that exact time that I proposed to you. And then she froze and looked at me and just went, stop doing these things like this. Stop doing it for me. Stop it. And she's falling. I'm like, what? She's like, you made me cry. Like, she's a deeply emotional woman, and that's what I love about her. Like, I love that so much because she counterbalances the fact that a lot of times I'm kind of emotionally a dead soul. You get it. Hey, it's starting to rain too, so this will be fun audio to edit. But yeah, I don't know, just seeing those coordinates and everything, that's what really inspired me to do that. And yeah, but
it's a really romantic gesture.
Yeah. I try to do little things. Like, a lot of the things I did for her was very location-based. Like, the first night that we kind of met and officially started dating, I had a satellite photograph of the place that we met, and I painted in a little dot and put the date and time on that, and framed it, and then gave it to her. And just about the same thing happened.
Well, I could have done something like that, but they tore that strip club down.
Oh.
I'm joking.
I don't know how I'm going to be able to fix this.
Let's pause.
Yeah.
See if it clears.
And we're back. Sorry about that. We had to cut out there for a little bit here because the rain was getting to be a little bit much here, and I was worrying that it was going to bleed over on the microphones. Only time and editing will tell here later on in the episode. But to jump back to you, Dave and Tara, you guys, I felt like I kind of pirated your vacation stories there and started telling my own here.
Not at all.
But I wanted to ask you about, because you'd mentioned something about going to an island on a ferry.
That
was apparently the most morbidly terrifying thing ever.
The way back was.
Just the way back.
Okay, so what island are we talking about?
This is Ocracoke Island. It's right off of the Outer Banks.
It's where that famous pirate died.
Yeah.
Which famous pirate?
Blackbeard.
Really?
Yep.
But yeah, we went there. Both years we went to the beach. I guess before the hurricane, the ferry ride was only 15 minutes, but now they have to go so far around. It's an hour on this ferry to get over. So you drive your car up onto the ferry. It doesn't cost anything. I guess the state pays for it, something along those lines. The way over, it's fantastic. You can see everything. We spent the whole day on the island. You drive golf carts around because it's real small.
Is it the island with the wild horses on it?
Yes, the wild
horses.
That's
one of them.
There's some, yeah.
There's several down there.
Yeah. They can never leave the island, and
how could they?
Yeah, I mean, they don't have thumbs, but
No, but they have the plague.
Yes.
I made that up. I made that up.
No, but it was something like if a horse ever somehow got off that island, it's never allowed to return, right? I've heard something like that about these
I've
islands
never
with
heard
these horses that they're on those islands secluded by themselves, that they've been cut off from so much of the world, and their immune systems are compromised to where if they ever got off the island somehow, like snuck onto a boat and entered into the mainland, they can't come back because they might carry over
Yeah, they might
some kind of
bring a
disease
bunch
or
of
something.
diseases.
Yeah.
I never thought about that because there's horses on Corolla as well.
Somebody was telling me about that. I think it was somebody from the other job though that was that had mentioned it, that had gone down to, it was North Carolina you went to?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I want to say that's where he was, and had mentioned that. So anyway, the ferry ride. So what was so weird
yes.
about this ferry ride?
Well, the way there, like I said, no, non-eventful. You get out of the car, you walk around, look at everything. The way back, I have never been the first car.
So what do you mean when you say, so a car meaning your literal car?
Yeah, you drive your
You
car
drive
onto this
okay,
big
it's one
boat.
of those.
Right.
Okay.
So,
And the front is open and the back is open because people have to be able to drive on and drive off. They like put a net up.
Yeah.
a net.
Yeah, a net. But then when you're like, I don't know, like a half mile out from, I hesitate to call it a port because it's not a port, but wherever the ferry parks.
The dock.
And the little bridge comes down.
I'll call
for
it
you
the
to drive
ferry
over.
slip.
Yes.
The slip where the ferry.
How about the ferry gate? It sounds very whimsical.
Yes, the ferry gate.
The
Yes,
ferry
the-
gate.
The ferry gates.
Sure.
When they pull up to the ferry gates.
Yes, yes.
It's like Stargate, but
Yeah, but they
More
they
feminine.
take that net down so that everybody, I guess, can see that everything's lining up properly or whatnot. But Tara, go ahead and finish this.
Oh,
up.
yeah, but now, I know I was safe, because as soon as you stopped, the first two cars...
Because I was there. She
Oh,
felt
yeah.
safe because I was.
No, but the first two cars, they have like this metal wedge, like a block that they put in front of your one tire. So even
Yeah.
if your parking brake goes out, if you knock the car into gear,
they're-
you're not going anywhere.
they're chalking the tires.
It's
Yeah.
a wheel chalk.
Yeah, wheel chalk. I didn't know what it was called, but yeah, they put that there. And, they put this little plastic like tarp kind of thing over the front. But during the day, totally fine. But at night, I didn't get out of the car until after the ferry started moving, which I've not done before. We always got out before. The signs say don't get out of your car till we've started.
Uh-huh.
But for whatever reason, this is the only time we listened. You know that feeling when you stop your car and the car next to you starts backing out of their parking space and you think you're moving but you're not? I had that on the ferry when I just have open water in front of me. I'm like, my car's not even on. My keys were in my pocket and I slammed on the brakes just because I thought I was moving. Scared the shit out of me.
I had that feeling on a train once when I was on an Amtrak, and you're pulled up to the station. There's another train next to you, and one of them starts to move, and you don't know which one it is. You're like, ooh.
Yeah, that. Your
Or
stomach
like that
just
split
does
second,
this.
you just grab onto whatever's next to you because you're like, I don't know if it's me or them. I don't know.
But yeah, that was terrifying. The rest of the ride was great. Like once we were out there, we could sit and be fine. But just that first, it was like, ugh.
No,
Like
when
I'm
we
gonna
came
fall
back,
off.
you were freaking out when we were coming back because we're getting closer and closer to the ferry gate, and you
I
were
didn't know how it worked.
you didn't understand that they lower, essentially they lower a cantilevered bridge onto the front of this ferry that you can drive up and over.
So
And-
the ferry becomes erect, or the ferry gate becomes erect to meet the ferry?
Ferry gate drops.
It drops.
To meet
So
the ferry.
From the ferry?
From
so,
the
so the
it
ferry
goes,
gate-
ground,
it
from the
goes
land.
from erect to going flaccid and landing
Landing on the front
on
of
the ferry.
just flops down on top of the ferry.
Oh, it flops hard. Yeah.
All right.
But
Very, very slowly, but it's
anyway,
Liberally.
so we're pulling into the ferry gate, and Tara is like, "It's too high. It's too high. Like we can't drive up on that." Like she was
like,
freaking
how
out a
is
little
this
bit.
gonna work? Like I'm tape recording the whole thing. Tape recording with my cell phone.
Yes, we had a 8mm camera.
Yes.
We were just talking about, putting things on film. We can't say that anymore. The youngins will never know what it means to put things to film.
I still have a film camera. I have no idea where to get the film developed if I ever pick it up again. But
I think now there's companies or pretty much websites with companies that you have to mail it in.
I'm not mailing it in anywhere.
Etsy, yeah.
Why? What's on it?
They leave it outside too long, the film's gonna melt. Air conditioning goes out in the truck, your film melts. You get nothing.
Well, I mean, you could insulate it, or you could build a developing room in your own home.
Yeah.
You have a basement. Basement would be perfect for that.
Yeah,
I used to develop.
We could do that, and you don't really need that home office.
I mean, all you
At
need
least until
you only need
September.
like four little. You only need like 4 little tubs for the chemicals. When I was in high school, I took the photojournalism class, and we would go into the dark room. You actually had to learn how to develop your own film. It was the coolest thing ever. I loved it because you would take that raw film, roll it out onto the projector, and then you blast the light of it, the negative, the inverted, onto the film paper. And then you'd put it in the different solutions for a time to mount, put it in the other one, then you hang it up to dry, and then it was awesome. But
Never gotten the chance to do that.
Yeah,
always
I'd
kinda
love
wanted
to try
to.
that.
well, here,
That
okay,
looks really cool.
Film 101, they don't tell you, is in the movies where they got the red light and everything. That's fucking false. You do this shit in the dark.
Oh,
When you pull the film out of the roller and get ready to make,
if there's
stuff like
any
that,
light,
it's
Any
ruined.
light, yeah.
Any light. Now there was 2 ways that I remember that we did it. Was one was in the dark room, which was a big room with all the developing stuff in there, that you kind of had to know where everything was at and kind of feel your way around. Or 2, you had a film bag, which was like a black canvasy bag, had 2 hand holes in there that with like gloves at the end of it, and you would pull everything apart, or you would put your arms in and zip your arms up around it, and somebody would have to help you, and you'd sit there just at your desk with everything illuminated around you except for in the bag, and pull the film out. And it was only until you actually developed, after you'd shot the film onto the paper, then you could turn a little red light on and put it in the fluid in the solution.
Now, for our younger audience members, can you explain what film is?
How to put it in layman's terms, film was a plasticky, very thin, paperish film that had little holes on the side of it, usually
the proper
around
term is celluloid.
a celluloid. Oh yeah, that was the term. You are correct, sir.
I know.
Good job. So then
Ooh, I knew a word.
you would take the celluloid that was 35 millimeters wide, and then you would pull it out of a roll. Like if it was a sea creature, it was like a little seashell which had a little tab that instead of a hermit crab, shut the fuck up, birds, that you would pull the celluloid out of there.
It's like trying to sneak the wonderful message out of a fortune cookie.
Yeah, kind of like a fortune cookie, except it was made of plastic. And then you would have to snip it off in like 5 to 12 frames, which were your photographs in sections, and then place them in solution, and then hang them up to dry. And then you could turn the lights on, and then you could run it in, blast the film with the light, because it was a negative photo, meaning what is white is actually black, and vice versa. And once you blast it onto the paper, that paper was impressionable. Whatever that light would hit would create the actual photograph itself. And that paper was permeated with that image. And then you would take the permeated image paper and then place it thusly
In your wallet.
into a solution
Oh.
that smelled of rich vinegar and heavy chemicals.
I always wondered what those chemicals were going to smell like.
They were very vinegary. Like
Because you're in a closed room.
they were tangy.
with-
Makes your mouth dry when you drink it. But
Oh, and how many pictures did you
explains a
used to
lot.
get on a roll? It was like 24.
24,
Sometimes
they had
48 if you paid
24s,
more.
36, 48s,
Yeah.
and then some cameras had the 100s. And yeah, kids, back in the
Well, it's
day.
the film, not the camera.
Yeah.
Depends on the film you buy.
Well, I mean, some of the cameras had
Yeah.
had a compartment for the larger film rolls.
Oh, that's
So you
right.
could buy like the 100.
I
It
never
was
bought the
usually
100s.
actual photojournalists were taking burst shots, like those, you know.
snapping a bunch of.
Yeah,
a
so they
bunch
would
at
have.
once.
You had to wait
like,
for it
they
to
would-
rewind before you could even take it out.
The camera I had for that was it had a manual rewind. It had a motor in it. Once you hit the
I
last
still have
shot,
one.
you would hear it go scooch, and it would let you know that it was empty. and then you had to like take a little lever on top of it and you just run it counterclockwise, and it would rewind it back inside that roll of film. And then and only then could you open up the ass of this camera and retrieve that roll. Because if you did it, the film was stretched across it, and then as soon as you opened up the back of it, it was just ruined. It was instant death. So yeah, chitlins, remember that, because in the generation that old Papa River and Dave and Mrs. Dave grew up in, shut up birds, I swear, we had to wait for photos. If you took a selfie with your friend, we had to wait.
Yeah, there was no 1 hour photo. It took a week.
We didn't have money. Like, we had 1 hour photo. We didn't have money for 1 hour photo. You shitting me? We had to send it off to a factory in Russia.
I remember
they would have
1
some
hour
like
photo.
Just to find out your pictures.
Oh yeah,
your thumb was in front of the.
You'd get them back, and the photos were shit.
Now, I remember waiting a week to get one roll of film developed, and I remember when we got our first 1 hour photo. I was so disappointed in the quality of the saturation of the film.
There's so much lens flare, you get dust on it.
It's not just that; it's like they were just cranking these things out, like not really letting them like soak in.
Oh, you're talking about the developer process.
Exactly, like they were just being forced through, and the pictures themselves were just terrible.
You ever had to do manual focus?
Yes.
It doesn't do it for you.
The first camera I ever had, the same one with the manual rewind, had the manual focus on it, and I loved it.
Yeah, I still love it.
It was almost an art form to be able to do it, because there was only, you don't make the entire photo in the in your aperture. Wasn't clear. It was the actual circle of the aperture, and then you had that tiny circle inside of it that had a little line, a little horizontal line, and it had to be fractured.
You just had to
be in focus but fractured. Like it just was moved. It was askew, just a touch, and that meant it was perfect, fantastic.
Tara, jeez.
That's how my mother learned she needed glasses, is when the family Christmas pictures started coming out fuzzy, because she was having to do the they looked focused to her and they'd come out blurry, and after a couple times she's like, I may need to get my eyes checked.
When I did that, I loved doing black and white photography. Me too. I never messed with
I
color.
It was
only black and white.
I love black and white.
I just realized too, it was like I was that weird kid in high school with the camera, just taking photos of shit, just like the weird kid in Stranger Things. He was always just taking photos. Like, yeah, I was that guy, except I never got to fight demogorgons or demodogs or anything like that.
That's why
there
I
was
don't bring it
a
anywhere,
weird kid in Stranger. There was a weird kid in Stranger.
The stereotypical weird kid.
Just the one. Okay.
Just, I related to him.
I relate to most of them.
I knew where she keeps your chocolate pudding, guys.
Dustin.
That bitch has been holding out on us.
I used to have it was the nicest camera I ever had, and it wasn't even anything special. It was a Nikon N22. It might have been a N55.
And mine was a Ricoh. RICOH. I remember I paid $200 for it back in 03, 04, and I loved it. Had a tripod for it, had the flash, like the actual flash you had to put batteries in and connect it, and it broke my heart when it was on the tripod, and I didn't know those tripod releases were spring-loaded.
Oh,
and my camera was sitting on there, and I turned it, it just went choop!
Just flew off.
That camera flew off and landed lens first onto a tiled floor and just shattered it. Like, I cut so many lawns to earn that, and it was done. Like, my mom's...
Did it break the shutter and everything?
It broke everything. I would have had to have replaced the lens. I would have had to take the camera body in, because the collar that you would lock everything into, the collar warped, like it bent it. It landed at such a perfect angle. It destroyed everything but the flash. And I went to my room, and my mom knew I was heartbroken. Like, I wanted to cry. I was so heartbroken. I remember I didn't cry, like I was in shock. And I had that flash just holding it, and I would turn it on and hear it going, and I would just manually make it flash. Looking at the ceiling, and I was like,
that's so sad. I'm laughing, but that is so sad.
I'm still laughing at it, but
that hurts me.
Oh, no, it broke my heart, and to be honest, I've never messed with photography after that. Like, I always wanted to get back into it, but it seems that we've passed the time when 35 millimeter was
plus
still a thing.
Nobody can really afford to get into photography these days.
Yeah, because
either you buy a $1,000 phone or you buy like a $3,000 camera.
Yeah,
I've wanted to get back into.
Nobody hardly deals in films, so it's just that's why I'm telling you, that's why it's so expensive. Is because just getting your hands on a clean roll of 35 millimeter. But you know what? Here's fun fact: they still make disposable cameras.
You can still buy them.
You can still buy disposable cameras. I believe I saw them the other day at Walmart. You can
film, or are they digital?
I believe they're film. I didn't know they make a digital disposable.
I feel like there's a little Polaroid kind of thing.
They do
like
make that. They
they
retroed the Polaroid, the one that used to shoot the photos, right out the front. They remade that does it, but it's a different style of paper. So I think it's a little bit smaller, but the picture quality is actually better than the old school Kodaks or Polaroids.
Just shake it.
Yeah. Oh, you never.
There's a reason for that song, folks. Shake it like a Polaroid picture.
No. Polaroid came out and said you do not shake.
But we always did. We always shook them. Like you have to do it. It was the fidget spinner of my generation, of our generation.
I would actually agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
that and those slappy bracelet things over
there.
there.
Man. When did this turn to the
You heard
90s throwback episode?
That's actually a tape measure. Have you seen that? People like busted them open, and it's a tape measure.
No,
on
but
the
that
inside.
that was a great idea. Whoever came up with that, that's
right
perfect.
there.
Yeah. No, I bought. It's probably been 10, 12 years ago, but I bought a disposable camera at the beach. I was at Ocean City with my parents, and my dad and I did the what's it called when you go up behind paragliding?
Yeah.
Or parasailing.
Parasailing. Yeah.
And I wanted to take pictures, but I'm like, I'm not bringing my camera up there. Like, what if I drop it? So I got this disposable camera just in case. Well, it made it back safely, but even then, I had a hard time finding one. That was a long time ago.
Well, I'm going to bring up one more 90s thing. Trapper keepers.
Oh.
Do you remember all the crazy designs? And you get one and you think, it's like, wow, like this has got to be like the coolest one. And first day of school, everybody has...
Now, the Trapper Keeper we're talking about is the one that you usually would zip up.
Zipper.
It had like a neoprene cover.
It was like clear vinyl with graphics under it, and it had a Velcro enclosure. It was a bifold Trapper.
Yeah, it would open up and you could put all your folders in there and like pencils and stuff. I had one like that. I think it was a 5-star. You remember 5-star?
Yeah.
I had mine, but it was a zip up.
Well,
Yeah,
I wasn't
of.
fancy enough for zip up.
I know. I just it made me think of the 5-star commercials I remember from back in the day. For that was
Must have been shopping at the.
You got
Harvard
5-star. You're ready for school. You the best because 5-star was. I mean, it was 5-star.
It really was. They're what is it? Notebooks. Hands down the best.
They are. I mean, there's the composition book. I have a bunch of those still.
I mean, for spiral bound, they were the hardiest. Like they were going to last.
Oh God. All right, where were we? I need to turn this on vibrate.
Trapper keepers.
Trapper keepers.
And notebooks, things nobody
Composition.
wants to hear about, but
I know.
I still have a bunch of composition notebooks.
I still have my
still have
Tamagotchi.
them. Really? Is it alive?
Yeah, it's got 3 kids too. I just
goodness.
helped them through college.
That sounds expensive.
I
So
used-
you've got a crazy story about something you did today?
Okay, yeah. So, because the timing too, perfect.
I know.
So today, date of recording was my old lady said, "Hey, what are we doing on this Friday?" And I said, "I don't know, nothing." She said, "Well, keep your schedule clear. We're going to be gone all day. I'm not going to tell you what it is." And I was like, "Okay, but it'll be something." Excuse me. It'll be. Yeah, it popped right out of there. Ugh. So time went on, and I just didn't question it. I said, "No, she's got something planned. It's going to be a surprise. I'm going to let her surprise me." Then she goes, "Okay, I can't really surprise you. I need you to sign this paperwork." And I look at it, and it's a waiver. I'm like, "What am I signing a waiver for?" She said, "I'm taking you whitewater rafting."
Oh.
So we went and drove up today to the Ohio Pile over there in Pennsylvania, and went down the not the Yu-Gi-Oh! Haney River, as I would pronounce it forever because I'm stupid.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
I was like, I went down to Yu-Gi-Oh! Haney. Go down there on the old Yu-Gi-Oh! No, it's apparently the Yakagani River, and did some whitewater rafting. Now, the best part was she's never done anything like this. Again, city girl from New Jersey meets mountain man of the mountains, and I've done stuff like this. It'd been years ago. The last time I did anything like that was going down the French Broad River, and I did that on a ducky, and that's Class 3 rapids, which are like novice. It was my first experience in it, and in a ducky, which is by yourself, no guide, and I was just, I survived, and I'll never forget that experience. It was a rush.
I went down the French Broad.
Yeah? What was your name?
A French Broad in Quebec.
In Quebec?
In Quebec.
I mean, that's a Canadian broad, but I mean, I'll let it slide. How far north of Canada are we talking here? Was it...
Right below the navel.
Okay, that's pretty French. But anyway. So she tells me, she goes, I didn't sign up. I didn't sign us up for anything crazy. I haven't done anything like this. I got the youth tour. Youth. Y-O-U-T-H. Youth. The Utes.
Utes. 2 Utes.
And I'm looking at the waiver. I go on the website and I'm looking, and I said, which one did you buy? I said, the Middle Youth Tour. And I'm looking, I go, they shorten Yakagani to the Yak, which is spelled Y-O-U-G-H. And the only thing that says Middle Yak Tour is Class 3 Rapids Standard into Class 4s, which is novice to expert. And I went, babe, did you, you sure you got a youth tour? She said, yeah, no.
Did you read this?
She's like, yeah, it's the youth tour. It's the youth tour. And I was asking her, we were emailing when I was at work, and she up and down, the youth tour. We're getting ready to go this morning. I said, are you sure? And she goes, yeah, it's right here in the middle. Oh, no, you're right.
Oh, shit.
And she goes, oh, God, now I'm nervous. I said, oh, no, we'll be fine. She said, I asked them, and I said, I'd never done it before. And they said, here, do this one. I said, these are rafters. These are raft tour guides. They're good, salt-of-the-earth people. They want your money, though. I loved our guides. Our guides were great people. Hey, anybody from the Yacht Tours that listens to this, if you ever listen to this show, great people. Shout out to Ben. Ben was our guide. He's fantastic. He's going to be getting a fantastic review on the Google. So anyway, we get set up, get geared up, and by geared up, I look like I work for the Park Service. I had cargo shorts, a button-up shirt with rolled-up sleeves, and hiking boots. She looked at me and said, really? Like, you're not going to... I said, well, according to what everybody else is wearing on the pamphlets and the website, I should be wearing, like, some spandex like, thong
like
and
compression
and
shorts
no
or
shirt. And I said, nobody needs to see that. So I'm dressed up because... To me, I can't not wear like a button up usually or pants. Like it's not in me.
It's not socially acceptable to
It's
not
just-
wear pants.
Well, you know, like not classified as pants. Like some people like to wear the sweatpants everywhere. I can't do that. It just hurts my soul when I see it. I need to have a belt with trousers and usually something with buttons and pockets on it. Like it's hard for me to do.
It's a faux pas, like jerking
yeah,
off
just
on
like
the
yeah,
subway
just like
train.
beating off on the bus, man. Yeah. Faux pas.
And I love me some pockets.
Okay, I didn't know
In
we
the
were
women's
going-
clothing world, that's very hard to come by. Functional pockets. So
Yeah,
I
I have learned that you women as a species love to let everyone know when whatever the fuck it is you're wearing has pockets. She wore a dress for our engagement. She's like, it has pockets. I'm like, cool, I have fucking pockets too. But apparently that's the thing. They don't make a lot of stuff for women with pockets.
Or if
Didn't
they do,
know
they're
that.
useless.
So women's clothing developers out there, please start making more shit with pockets because I can speak to you as a man and let you know I'm tired of holding everything.
Plus, it'll sell.
Plus, you damn right, it will sell. So anyway, back on track here. So we go driving down there. We get to the place and let him know, hey, Sullivan, party of 2, here to do some rafting. You guys ever done it before? She was like, nope. Did it once in New York like 20 years ago, and it was like a float. She goes, oh, okay. Like, that's not what I want to hear the person say is, huh. So we get down there, and they do the rallying call for everybody else that was there, and they said, "Oh, your party's here, and it's only 2 of you, so there's a group of 2. There's a group of 4 here. We'll mix you up with them, and we'll all go together." Well, they had a group of 4. There's a guy, and then like these 3 ladies, and I guess one of them decided not to do it. So it was a party of 5. Our guide added, made 6. So the guide was the guy that hung out in the back and kind of ruddered the boat, and he would give us commands. So we get there, and first of all, for the money we paid, I had to haul that boat down from the road to the river, and I did not know that whitewater rafting boats were that damn heavy. Like, muscles started burning within the first 2 minutes. I was like, Jesus Christ!
You guys couldn't park any closer. What the hell's going on?
Just grease the bottom of this up and throw it down there. I was like, I'm paying you money. You should winch this thing in the water for me. But whatever. Okay, a little bit of exercise. So we get it in the water, and he goes, "I need 2 people up front to be the strong swimmers." So it's me, and I want to say his name was Kevin. Me and Kevin are the only men on the boat. And then it was my old lady, and then the 2 slender gazelles
that
were with Kevin. Ben was there. He was the guide, though, so he had to ride in the back. So me and old Kev get
cool kids
loaded up front, and he's like, "I need 2 strong rowers." And I'm going,
I guess that's me.
I guess that's me and Kevin over here, whom I've just met. And so we sit. I got the front right. He's got the front left. And so we go over the commands and everything like that. And so down we go. We're floating through. He's like, "Dig your foot into the raft, and it'll hold on to you. And you can." We had to test it. You had to shove your foot in the corner of the raft and lean back and do a sit-up. And I said, "Okay, I'm gonna be in this raft."
Carrying boats,
I'm
doing
out
sit-ups.
already.
What the hell kind of?
I'm gonna do a sit-up.
I paid them to do a sit-up. I paid them to do a sit-up and carry their shit. Anyway. So we get on the water. I mean, we just had all this rain. And he said, "It's chocolate milk out there today." Like, it was just mud runoff. It was just sloppy out there. And that water was running fast. Ben, our guide, he's like, "Well, normally this raft trip will take anywhere from about 3 to 4 hours. But because of the speed of the water, we might get her done in 90 minutes or 2 hours. I'm like, holy shit. We are moving. So I get there, and I mean, this water is moving. It dawned on me, though, when you're riding on the boat to be able to kind of ride the waves, it was like riding a motorcycle. It was like being able to counterbalance with your hips and everything and just stay upright. We start, the first rapid that we hit was Cucumber Rapids. It was like, "Yep, this is it. This is a good starter. This is your first class 3. I'm like, "All right, whatever." He said, "It's kind of upgraded because of the current and the water level." I said, "So we're looking at like a class 4 now?" He's like, I'm like, all right, so, okay. So he's, gives commands. He's like, "Forward, everybody forward, everybody forward." We're running. We just go slooping down in this water, and I just see a big brown wave, like, above my head. I'm going, "Oh." And that was the only thing I could get out before it slams into my face. And the only thing, I didn't even eat water. That was the thing. It happened so fast. You literally just got slapped with it. Like, it didn't have enough time. It was like slap, and I'm moving on. And
Good
all I
thing
could
there
do
wasn't
was
like a big trout in there.
all I could do was go boo, like, and I'm going, "Oh, this is brisk. Oh my God, is this brisk?" Like, and we went at it like it was. I have not had that much of a rush and that much fun in so long. And here's the thing: I not once was scared. I thought I'd be terrified because I was, "Oh, well, you're getting older." And I was like, "Nah, bring it." As soon as that first wave hit me, that first rapid smashed me in the face, I was in it. I was committed. I was like, just give me some more. He said, "Oh, well, here we go. We got the one that I think it was called like the taco, because it was a class 4 that would just fold the raft in half because you would smack down, you'd slam down so hard." There was only 2 real true class 4s, he said, that were in there, and both times I got knocked on my ass. I almost got thrown out of the boat, but I remembered my training about getting low, and I landed in just like the middle of the boat. First time it happened, I got up and I was like, I'm so sorry. They're like, no, it's fine. Like, I just started apologizing.
In your mind, did you like snap back to like a montage of your training, carrying the boat, doing the sit-ups? It's like, I fought so hard for this, I'm not going to give up now.
I told you I'd listened to SEAL. I wasn't a Navy SEAL. I was kissed by a rose. I didn't make it through Hell Week. Let's not put me in a stolen valor scenario, because I am not that. But the second Class 4 wave that smashed into me, that was the one that like rang the bell, and it just blasted me so hard I just landed in the middle of the boat and just laid there for a second. Wow. And I looked at everybody and was like, hi, how are you? But we never lost anybody. My raft never lost a person, and we were a man short. Even our guide, Ben, I don't know, maybe he's just, kind of fluffing me a little bit. He's like, man, you guys are killing it, because he'd be like real hard, and me and old Kev over here like, oh. And she's behind me, the old lady's behind me going, oh, what's a good thing? I've been watching season 1 of Vikings right there. I think, well, they won't even get out of the fjord. Like,
the fjord.
So how big of a boat are we talking? Like, I've never actually put it into perspective. Like,
I thought it would be bigger. If I laid down, which I
like
did in the boat.
Like a 12 or 14 foot raft.
It was like 8 feet. What? It was like 8 feet long and probably about 4 feet wide.
See, my brain just goes straight to like I know it's dumb, but the amusement park things that all have the rapids, the big round thing with all.
You watched the movie The River Wild, where it had big giant raft. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. No, not these guys. It was me and Kevin were like, "Hey, buddy, high five."
So really, where the Miss Sullivan was reading on the website about the youth trip, really they were talking about the size of the boat. You took a ute boat.
Youth-size boat.
Like, it was tiny. It was so tiny.
Down an adult-sized river.
Well, see, that was the thing. Like, there's all tiny people. Like, they were all like little people. And then there was me. I was like, I feel like a counterweight up here, Ben. He's like, you'll be fine, buddy. And I look back, and with the rain and the water and everything that had happened, like, she was so happy. She's like, this isn't bad. I'm over here just like shivering because we would get out all these rapids and it would be calm.
Yeah, she's got her big meaty wave brakes right in front of her.
I looked at her. I was like, how you feel? She's like, I feel good. I'm like, yeah, I'm your human windshield right now.
I think I broke my jaw.
Like, I sent you the photos. If you look at one of them, like, there's one with me just water ripping out of my mouth because it was that was the first. Yeah, that was the cucumber one because that's where my oar is way out here, and I'm going, bleh, like, it's just water's coming. It's right after that wave smashed me. But I'm telling you what, we've been looking for things as like couples to do, as like a couples exercise, and she's like, that was fun. I don't know how we're going to top that. I said, we can do this again. I said, I'm not going to lie. I want to do the Class 5s. I want to try it.
We should all go up and do it together.
And yeah, absolutely. And she said, well, we got to get good at it. I said, look, you want to talk about a workout? My core had burned out at the end of it. And we had to carry the raft back up the goddamn hill and wait on the bus to pick us up. We were struggling. We're like,
I wonder if that's why the guides get into like doing the river guide thing, just so they don't have to carry the fucking boat anymore.
They carried the boat though with us.
All right.
They were all troopers. I loved the company she went with. Like I said, we bought some sweet merch. Had to get some sweatshirts off of them. Bought some stickers. And we had to buy the photos.
I know I'm going to be that asshole. It's like, all right, carry that boat down there. It's like, all right, give me $5 back.
Did you have like the GoPros, or like how did you get pictures?
They have people stationed. Well, they had I guess like a camera arm set up out there, like a trail cam kind of thing. But then old Ben laid some knowledge on it. Said, here's how you know how bad the rapids are going to be. He said, when you get to one, you think it's going to be bad. If you look on the shore and just see some random ass people with cameras waiting, yeah, they're waiting to get photos of you guys because they know it's going to suck. We walked first set we came across. There was like two old people. They're like this, laughing like, here we go.
And timeout.
Because we had a boat that lost 3 people. So yeah, hands down, I definitely want to do it again, and look forward to, if you guys want to do it, hell yes, I want to set that up.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It was, again, worth every penny. With the waters, though, like, yeah, we were talking about the speed. From like the 3.5, 4 hour time that they said it was going to take to go like the 8 mile journey, it took us right at 2 hours to get there. We were moving. But I actually want to go again when it rains like this because it's dam controlled. But even with the dam controlling it, it was still like 2 or 3 feet higher than they said it was normally at. And Ben, the guide, was just going, he said, I love it when the water's chocolate milk like this. He said, because we got to one area that normally we'd be getting hung up on. We got to like drag the boats through it. And, you got to get out of the boat and we got to walk it through there. And
that's called a portage or a portage, as that French broad.
But like, but
can you hear the eye roll?
A little bit, but yeah, it was with those high water levels. We rolled right over all the rocks for the most part. I mean, we had some that there was one that was called like the maze, where we all had to like throw the oars straight up in the air and hold them straight up and like navigate, and then we jam them straight down and then move according to command. And if you can figure out the commands, which are pretty easy, and you get over the initial like wow factor of holy shit, this is happening, and then you just kind of buckle down and do it.
It sounds like it's like a kind of like a sustained car accident for 2 hours.
It was controlled chaos.
Yeah.
It was beautiful because once you got through the rapids, we'd have long stretches though, 20 minutes or so where you sat there. I remember one point that I was just taking all the scenery and the nature in, that I actually closed my eyes and relaxed my breathing and just enjoyed it. And I looked at my little smartwatch thing, and it was like, your heart rate's like 59 beats a minute right now. I said, I just went through a class 4 rapid, and my heart rate is so low because I'm just in this place of zen.
Wow.
It was a bucket list item for me to do. I was happy to do it, to check it off the list, and it's something I cannot wait to do again.
Awesome.
I'm going to wear floaties.
So, we're running a little short on time here. So, Tara, I understood that there was a little bit of an adventurous thing that you did a while back.
I checked off a bucket list item myself
I'm
here.
sitting right here.
Yeah.
She call you the bucket list?
No.
Mostly just the bucket.
Here comes old bucket. I love him. I'm married to him.
Oh. No, but this was actually a present from Dave here. I forget which birthday that was, but it's been a while ago, but he paid for me to go skydiving, which I had always wanted to do. And I didn't realize, like, I don't know why, but I never actually, like, looked into it. Like, I always said it was something I wanted to do.
I'm still not sold on it.
Yeah, like, I didn't know where I would have to go, but we found out there's a place down in Huntington in the southern part of the state.
I hear you're really high in the air when you do it, so that's...
Yeah.
Many digits.
Yeah, but we find a place that does this down in Huntington. It was Huntington or Pittsburgh. And of the two, it's like I would much rather, be looking at, the mountains and the river and all this gorgeous scenery rather than, the city.
City blocks.
City blocks,
Ooh, it's the stadium.
Yeah, so we drove down to Huntington and, well, it took 2 tries. The first time, it got rained out anyway, but it was a whole comedy of errors the whole way down, but I wasn't laughing at the time. I learned a very valuable lesson that day, which is when you plug an address into your GPS, make sure it's in the right city first. We drove, what was it, an hour and a half the wrong way.
Oh,
zip codes, people.
I forget what the street was. It was like Kyle Lane, I think. And we get there, and like my parents are down there waiting, and it's just some random.
We're in the middle of a suburb.
I don't think
there's an airstrip.
I don't see any planes.
Oh, shit.
Saw some old guy in a park with an RC plane, but I don't think I'm getting on that.
Yeah, but it was raining anyway, so we ended up flying over there, and we couldn't do it that day anyway.
We just drove. I drove.
Oh yeah, he drove very, very, very fast. But yeah, we rescheduled. We went back. Beautiful, beautiful day, and best thing I ever did. But it's just so surreal. I mean, you watch all the training videos, and you do all your safety stuff, and if you've never jumped before, obviously you do the tandem. You're strapped to somebody else, so it's like
you go across the runway like a hostage.
Yeah,
I remember
you don't have to do anything.
They were suiting her up and getting like all the harnesses ready, and and I'm just walking around with a camera taking pictures of her for her wonderful remembrances or whatnot. And I just keep asking her, I was like, aren't you nervous? Are you nervous? And she's like, nah. She just had this great big shit-eating grin. Like, she was so happy.
Yes, queen!
She's like, this is finally happened. Finally happening.
Yeah, but at some point in time, I did realize that, like, I don't have a parachute of my own. Like, if something happens and I end up not attached to the person that I'm supposed to be attached to, I'm screwed. I never thought about that. No, but you do all the practice and stuff in their little, like, hangar thing in their garage, and, like, because you have to, there's a certain way that you have to kind of crawl around, because obviously you attach yourselves, you get hooked on before you get anywhere near the door of this plane, which that in itself was weird, because the whole way up, all the way up to where you're going to jump from, the door is open. Mm-hmm. So you're in this teeny tiny little plane, which I also didn't realize.
Oh, it's probably was it like one of those emptied out Cessnas or?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can hold like 6 people.
God, and they probably just took the seats out and you're just kind of spooning.
You're all in there spooning. Yeah.
Oh, and the funny part too was all the people that are training and getting their hours in. You have to get so many jumps to be certified for all this stuff. Well, they I think they call it a pop and drop. But they only go up like halfway, so you don't do all the free fall. You just jump, pull the chute, just to learn how to navigate yourself. Mm-hmm. So all of the students are crammed into this plane with us. There's like 6 or 7 of us in this little teeny tiny plane. So they slow down and they all jump out one by one. And then we keep going, because we're doing the full thing. We go all the way up. Was it 10? At least 10,000 feet. Yeah, it was 11.5.
Yeah, they said that they were going to try to get to 14.5, but the ceiling was so low.
We couldn't quite do it that day. But
so they jumped at 11.5.
I think 5,000 is like the minimum or something like that.
I think that's where you pull the chute. Yeah, because you get this big altimeter.
Yeah.
I think this looks like a watch. And you get that too, even though you're not responsible.
That thing tells crazy time, man.
Yeah,
it was going crazy.
I got that on one hand.
I am a Navy SEAL now.
Yeah, I have that on one hand. I've got a GoPro on the other hand, which was really cool. Because somebody else was filming too. We get both footage. They combined into a really nice video for us. If you ever do it, the first time you go, pay the extra for the video.
Spring the money for the video. It's going to be
absolutely worth it.
It's like with the rafting. We knew I was like, I'm springing the money for these photos.
Oh yeah, it's worth it.
But yeah, we get up all the way to the top, and they cut the engine for a second just to slow down long enough for you to go out the door. But it's not. You don't even really jump. You just kind of roll. You roll forward out of the door. You sit there. You got your feet hanging, which that was even better. The first plane you had to like hang on and step on the little wheel thing. This one you just roll out. That was so much nicer. Less work, didn't have to think about it.
Yeah, like I was worried about the walking out on the strut.
Yeah.
You have to step out on the strut and then let go of the plane.
Let go.
I think I'd just rather jump out of the plane.
Yeah, if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna commit.
I gotta admit, that freaked me out a little bit. It's like, what if I misstep?
What if your foot slips?
Yeah, what if my foot slips? What if my foot gets stuck?
A bird flies into
there
me.
Upside down.
I've seen The Edge when the bird strike happens.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Yeah, but it was absolutely. You only feel like you're actually like falling just for a couple seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, when you first go out of the plane and then you start to level out, but then you hit whatever speed and you're just floating.
Terminal velocity.
Yeah, terminal velocity. But it is just the coolest feeling, and I actually still say to this day, as the person without the chute, like you're supposed to. They asked you first, but they asked if I wanted to be the one to pull the parachute. I said sure.
Hell yeah.
Obviously, if I don't
Let
do
me
it,
pull
they
the switch.
will. But there was this whole thing they said they were gonna they'll wave a hand in front of my face, like take my hand, like put it on where the pulley thing is, so I know what to do.
That wasn't the right pulley thing.
No. But,
Nigel, this is your butt.
no, but I realized later on, like I didn't do it. I'm like, did I totally miss the signal? Or I'm like, no, I just think they realized I was just going, oh man, I'm looking around. Because you're
just
supposed
deer
to
in
watch.
headlights the whole time.
Yeah, you're supposed to watch this thing on your wrist, and when you hit a certain altitude,
you had your blinders on, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just going, oh, this is pretty.
Pretty.
So yeah, if I didn't have somebody attached to me, splat. Like, yep, I don't know when I would have realized. Probably too late. But you're right by the river. That was another thing.
The Ohio
trying to
River.
Steer yourself because
they've got this
want
big
to land in the water.
This big map in their garage where you set up, and all over where the river is says "Do not land in the water," because the current will pull your chute under and drag you under. Like you're thinking, oh, softer landing. No.
Very dangerous.
Very super dangerous.
Never thought about the chute drag. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was so funny watching her come in like to land. Because especially with like tandem jumps, you can't do like a running stop. You'll trip over each other's feet and stuff. You'll end up dragging your face on the ground or whatnot. So they're like, pick up your feet, and they come in and they like
you just
scoot,
slide it on your butt.
scooch in on your butt. And I'm just thinking, I hope they checked for rocks. Like they, I mean, that's like the worst slip and slide ever. Yeah. But
he's got these pictures of me. I came in with my hands up, throwing them, going, woo!
Yeah, she's got her metal horns up. It was fantastic, and we were really excited. And the guys that were working there, and this is my funny thing to add. I'm a bigger guy. I'm above the weight limit, and they're looking at me.
You could go on your own. You're over the tandem limit.
Well, I don't have $1,000.
Yeah.
Anyway. They're like looking at me. He's like, "Hey, man, like that looked pretty cool, right?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you want to go? Do you want to go up? You want to jump? We got time for another jump." I was just like, "I'm above the weight limit. Like I can't do it." And they're like looking at me, give me a couple up and downs, sizing me up, and they're like, "I think we could rig something up."
Nothing like redneck ingenuity to be like looked at you and go, you know what? I think I got a couple tie downs in the truck. We'll rig something up,
make
man.
it work.
Not a chance in hell. Like if you didn't phrase it like that,
what's the chute's drag rated for?
I mean, like I'm a big guy. Like if you got your smallest, most experienced jumper and just strapped her to my back. And I could just carry around like a book bag or something like that. Like, yeah, that could have worked. But
get me a dwarf jump instructor.
You tell me, yeah, I think we could rig something up.
We'll figure it out.
I don't have a whole lot of confidence in that kind of language.
This is like Jeb's discount skydiving.
Yeah, it's like I'm not trying to fix my a little trailer for my lawnmower. I don't like. Yeah, you can rig that up. You're not going to rig me up a parachute, even though I understand that the terminology is rigging, but yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. Yeah. I'm glad you got to experience something off your bucket list.
Oh yes,
and again, we definitely got to get on the whitewater rafting here, but that'll have to be for another time because we are all out of time.
Son of a. All right.
I know it seemed to go a little slow, but once the story started rolling, it just flew right by. And hopefully the rain won't get the rain won't get picked up too much on the microphones. I think we'll be okay. Well, yeah, guys, we are all out of time here for this episode. So thank you for stopping by here. But here, don't also it begins. But don't forget to check out all the links here in the description below. Also, don't forget that This Evening Tonight is an official affiliate of the Duke Cannon Supply Company. So go on there and feel free to click on something, buy yourself a little something there nice, and any purchase you make, a little bit of that goes here directly to supporting the show. Also, don't forget to check out the old Facey Space here because we will include links in the face tweet there as it will for 10% off any order that you make at dukecannon.com. So click on the link, go buy you something nice, and then check out Facey Space there at checkout. And enter that code there for 10% off. So we'll save you some money. You'll give us some money. Make the show go right. Make the hit to your wall a little bit lighter there. But all right, don't forget to check out all the other different ways that it is you can listen. We're listened to anywhere you can get a podcast. And thank you again for stopping by. Thank you for tuning in. And until we see you here next time on the show, we hope to find you a little bit happier, healthier, and just a little bit less bitter in life. Go out there, check something off your bucket list. But until next time, peace out.